Let's talk about slow zones. Those delays are a source of continuing frustration, as you know, for riders. For those commuting to jobs, it's become very difficult to judge how long a given trip will take. That can be a deal breaker for someone considering public transit. Can you tell us when this will improve? When will we see improvement?
Well, some of that gets to the communication too, right? The amount of time it is traveling. But with regards to that work, and again, worker safety, we are aggressively pursuing the speed restrictions and lifting them. To date, we've lifted over 70 since April. And
how
the
many
key
do
thing
you
is,
have? Do you know if you've lifted over 70? How many do you have?
I believe it was 205.
So people are
or
feeling
maybe.
the difference
so you're a third
now,
of the
you
way.
think?
Yes,
Yeah.
I know for a fact, talking to some Blue Line riders, they are feeling the difference, right? And that was important to get in place, obviously, for the Sumner Tunnel work coming up. But we're also now focused on the Red Line, the Green Line. Orange Line work continues as well. But it's a balance now of making sure we are going after the worst locations that actually provide
Well, let me ask you about
most
that.
minutes back to our riders.
Because the Orange Line, and this was before your time, the shutdown that happened for 30 days, we were told that it would be faster and better, and we didn't really see that come to fruition. So do you anticipate any shutdowns in the future, say on something like the Red Line, which is just about as old?
Well, right now, and it's always been my balancing of how do you provide options for people to travel while you're doing work. And there's always this discussion of if we have a longer closure, you could be more productive, you could get work done quicker. But I think that's the communication that we have to do with those business communities, with the people that use
nothing
the
in the
system.
works right now.
Nothing is in the works with regards to that. But I have seen places where you never believed someone would accept the shutdown, and they said, you know what, get in, get done, get out of here. and that works, right? And from a safety perspective, it's fantastic. Production is even better. But that doesn't mean that is the ultimate solution, because my goal is to give people the ability to use the T while we're getting work done. It's like riding a bicycle while you're changing the wheel.
Right. That's a great analogy. It is like riding a bicycle while you're changing the wheel. We're now 2 years. It'll soon be 2 years to mark the Green Line crash on Commonwealth Avenue. The FTA has been saying for more than a decade that anti-collision technology would prevent crashes like this. Why is the Green Line train protection system way over budget and behind schedule?
Well, positive train control, automatic train control, these are technologies that we're putting in place on the Green Line. The contractor that we have is producing. We need to make sure that when we implement it and going through the different iterative processes, that it's functioning right. It's always been the industry's challenge to deliver these components. Even when we delivered positive train control along Long Island Railroad, it was right down to the wire. I think what we see is there are so many entities looking to do this. They're in competition for the same experts. They're in competition for the same materials.
I mean, is there a timeline to get it done, though, to get it on these trains?
Absolutely. We're pushing hard. One of the things that I've been talking about in terms of all of our projects, what is the date and how do we bring it back into acceptable dates, and also moving forward, new projects. We want to make sure that we have deadlines, milestones, and hold ourselves accountable, but also those firms that are working for us accountable.
But, you know, there are a million questions to ask you, but before we step away, a lot of people have sat in that very chair. Congress people and T people have sat in that chair and said, well, the T needs to hire 1,000 people. So the T still has hundreds, is that accurate, of positions to fill? So what can you do to get people more interested in working for the MBTA so they can work on those stations that we're talking about?
We certainly do need to hire, and we are aggressively hiring. The production has gone up in terms of the ability to get more people and resumes in the door. We're working on the process. The HR folks have seen an increase in terms of our hiring. We are fighting against attrition, but that doesn't mean we're not going to continue to be aggressive. Just recently, Local 589 and our labor workforce here have come to terms in terms of allowing us to give the new applicants the opportunity to be full-time or part-time. That was one of the major roadblocks. That's not the only solution. We're continuing to work on other things.
Why are you having such a tough time? Why don't more people want to come work for the T?
I think this all goes to the inherent challenge that we have. Right now, the T is I think, front page stories, but also the riders that I talk to, the employees that I talk to while I'm on the buses and on the trains, they actually take a lot of pride in this job. And what I need to do is to bring that pride out and have people say, you know what, the T is that great place it used to be that everyone talked about. I mean, I wasn't here, but I heard this was like the premier job. It still is. I just don't think people understand how important the public service that we provide is to them. And once we start showing the public that we're turning the tide, the sentiment will turn and employees will continue to rise up and bring their family members, bring their friends on. They're already doing that, so
and just let me remind you, I mean, he started at the beginning and we reported it at the beginning, but he's a regular 100% of the time T rider. He gets on the T to and from work.
I absolutely do. On weekends as well.
On weekends as well. Phil, it's great to have you with us. Thank you for coming in this morning.
Thanks for coming in.